Alright, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'm going to tell you about what is a 30-step drill sequence and why I disliked it. Alright, so today, what is a 30-step drill sequence? And as you can tell, I'm in a different setup right now. I cleaned my whole closet except for this mess right here and the one behind me. I'm getting that sorted out and organized here in the next couple days. So, what is a 30-step drill sequence? A 30-step drill sequence is a list of 30 drill sequences or commands, as you should say it, that are performed at drill and at ceremonies. Now, I dislike this because for finals at our school, this is what we have to do every year. Now, I'm not kidding, every year at our school, at my school, I should say. Now, yours it may be different, it may be something else, but this is an Air Force one, I believe, because it may be different, but we all have different call signs. It could be for Army too, but as far as I'm concerned, I hate this thing. The only reason I hate it is, well, one reason I hate it is because, well, it's so long and you're working in a small space to do it normally, and you gotta be loud, you gotta be crisp, you gotta make sure you don't make a mistake. That's the biggest thing. Do not make a mistake when you're doing this, because if you're getting graded for it, one mistake will knock you down so far. And I'm not kidding, but I mean so far. You can get a failing grade if you miss 2 or 3. And because the reason behind that is because, well, one, you mess up, you fail your whole group or detail or flight, whatever you're commanding, as far as they're following you. They have to follow you. They have to make sure they're all in step with you. And if you're off step with them, or they're off step with you, that's going to be an issue, especially if you call your command on the right foot or the wrong foot. It doesn't matter. You're still going to mess up either way. So you got to make sure your detail, your group, your wing, or your flight are in one step. Make it look crisp, make it look right, especially during parades and formal inspections by maybe the adjutant general or something. But really, why I really despise this is it's long. It's hard to remember. You have to remember this. I mean, over the years, you might get it. It's not that hard, but I haven't seen this list since May of 2018. And now it's November of 2018. So, you gotta scratch that off. I have not remembered this. No reason for me to. Only twice a year I need to use it. So that's every 6 months. So, I wouldn't say 6 months, I would say about 4 or 5. But that's it. That's why I despise the 30-step drill sequence. Now, you gotta bark. Sorry if there's pounding in the background. That's people walking loud. But, again, if you're ever gonna do a 30-step drill sequence for your commanders or your COs or anybody in the higher up realm that you should be impressed, make sure you fall out like the real military does. If you don't, look it up. There's videos on YouTube. Air Force, when you fall out, they call fallout. You go to detention, you do an about face, right? Now, when you do an about face, make sure you're crisp about it. Make sure everybody's in line with you. Hopefully, you can have the time to practice for that, because I do. Except we had to do it in a small room today because it's cold. I'm sorry for the air quotes. If you don't like that, I'm sorry, but that's how I talk. But it was cold, but it was actually humid. So everybody was like, oh, it's so cold, but it's humid, it's warm. It's like 50 degrees out and humid. Because of the humidity, it's like 50 degrees and it's warm. It may be cloudy because it just rained. It's about to snow on Saturday. Hopefully not, but it's okay. It'd be nice to see us change the scenery here. But since it's too cold, we're in this room. No bigger than half my house, maybe. And we got 30 kids in this flight, all broken up into 5 groups. So you got big groups of kids running into each other. You can't practice, you can't do anything. So make sure to manage your time, because if you're inside and it decides to be cold on your winter final, maybe your first semester final, if you're doing it, and you're in your main place where you're commanding it and you're not outside, hopefully you're not, because that suck. But if it's warm where you live, that's a good thing, because if you're inside, you got space to work with, and it's very hard. You got to be very, very quick about it, because the 30-step, you got 30 steps you have to do, and you're maneuvering through the whole thing, and you got eyes right, and eyes right and columns and flanks are the big deal, because you gotta make sure you call them just correct so you don't hit the wall, I should say. Now, if you hit the wall, there's an issue. You're gonna get docked hard, and especially because that just makes you look like an idiot too. That makes you look like you're not performing. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you, but you're not performing well enough, they're going to dock you down. And if you're not calling or loud enough on the correct foot, now make sure you're doing that. That's a very important thing, calling on the correct foot, because so say you're going to go do a right flank and you're calling on the left foot, and you have to pivot on your outside foot, so your right foot's going to be turning you or helping you turn, and your left foot's going to be moving your body. So if you're going to call a right flank on the left foot, kiss your grade goodbye, because you're going to be doing that a lot if you're going to be doing that once. Because we all know that if you do that, there's an issue. Now, let's go through the commands. Here's what I'm talking about by what I mean by you have to be quick. So what you're going to have to do is CEO is going to be behind you. You're going to be one step ahead of CEO, and your flight's going to be one step or so, maybe like 3 or 4 steps, depending on how big yours is. For us, we're doing 1 element this year. So you're going to call fall in, and everyone's going to go to attention and stand there. You're going to do an about face. You're going to report in how your paper tells you to. And then you're going to go, as mine it'll be cadet so-and-so of the school or unit number, depending if they grade you on that, maybe not. So it's going to say, sir, but so-and-so, cadet so-and-so is prepared for a 30 command drill sequence, request permission to use your drill area. Now, it's very important you get that right, but they're not going to make you say that all the time, because make it simple, make it fast, because they're not going to want to be sitting there watching you. I don't know how to do this, okay? Don't do that. Just make it abbreviated if you have to, if you feel comfortable, unless you feel comfortable with doing the whole thing. So then you're going to call open ranks march. What they're going to do is they're going to move elements behind them every step, 1 step for every element. And that's why the steps away from you are important, because your first element's going to have to, hopefully not, you're going to be 1 step in front of you when they're done. Now, and then you're going to call, so what you're going to do, so this is a good lesson for everybody. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your arm, left arm up when you're done. Do not move the person next to you unless you are in the first element. That is important, because everybody's going to be out of line and it's going to look bad. And then when you call ready front, they're going to drop their arms and they're stand at attention until you close ranks march. And then they're going to move how many elements are in front of them they are. So I'm 4th element, I'm going to move 3. So, and then present arms, that's important. You should already know that if you are in this point in the semester in your ROTC program. Same with parade rest and the facing movements, those are all basic. But when you're doing a column, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the person in front of you. The first element's going to do a pivot, and then you're going to do, for the second element, you're going to do 245s, and you got to say take a certain step. So it's going to be 2 steps for the second element, 4 steps for the third element, 6 steps for the fourth element, so you can keep in line. But make sure, if your first element, keep it a little bit slower, because other elements have to keep up with you. So, and then you're going to go to a half step, but make sure when you're doing a column, I can't show you right now because I'm in my closet, you're going to pivot where that guy pivoted, and do not do like a flank where you all turn at once. Do pivot, look at his foot really quickly, look at where he's pivoting, and pivot right where he's at, okay? And that's basically it. But here's the one that takes the longest. This is the one you have to get timing correctly on, is the eyes right. So if you guys don't know when eyes right are, your first year, you're not too confident about that, that's where the commander goes up and they see their general or CEO or higher actual commissioned officer over there. They're gonna go call I'm gonna say over here, because they have to call eyes right. So what you're gonna do is the commander's gonna call eyes right. He's gonna salute. The base element on the element closest to the CEO will not look right. And if you salute when you're in the flight, that's not good, especially for you, because they're going to duck your grade for that one. So all you're going to do is be crisp and look right, and you're going to walk using your peripheral vision. and you're going to make sure you don't run into the person in front of you, because that's a big deal. If you do, that's going to suck. Now, I'm in a group that are still learning. I'm a group of first years and my flight sergeant. So make sure, don't do what they do. Don't do what they do. When you call a right flank, they should already know this, but they don't. Because some of them don't pay attention. This kid, he does it correctly, but this girl doesn't. So she goes, pivots, and then she goes. So they get confused sometimes, like the guy, he does a column instead of a flank. But it's always important to remember the difference between a column and a flank. A flank is turn immediately. A column is pivot, where the person in front of you is pivoting and how they're pivoting. Alright, so let's end this video right here, because it's 10.5 minutes on this clip. I think it's long enough, plenty long enough for anything that I need to talk about the 30-step drill command, an overview of how you should face and what the commands are. Okay, so make sure if you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe for me. That'd be nice to get at least 10 subscribers. Eventually, maybe one day. If anybody watches this video all the way through, because that's a trend I've seen, is people are not watching this video all the way through. They're looking at the start, and they're going, Okay, so make sure you like this video, and have a good day. Make sure you remember all your facing movements. Make sure you do it crisply. Make sure you do it right. Have a good day, everybody.